What's going on, YouTube? It's James with Chaogre Fantasy Battle Reports, and I got another game for you today. I got a game against Ian versus my brother, and my brother's bringing his Chaogre army. His Chaogre army is the Chaos Ogres, or Cogres, I guess. Cogres. I don't know. I was trying to come up with a bunch of different ways. Nogres or Wrathgers. I don't know. Trying to figure out something. Ogres. I don't know. I'm just going to have fun here. Anyways. So he's going against Ian. Like I said, Ian's having a little identity issue going on here. He was originally planning on building a Sylvan Elf army for Blood in the Sun, but basically what ended up happening was he ran out of time to paint up his whole army. So since he can't get the whole thing painted in time, he decided to switch up. So he had a game with my brother here using his Warriors of the Cthullu gods. And then at the same time, the next game he ended up playing me against with his vermin, my brother's vermin swarm against me, which you probably already saw that video. But so right now in this game, he's just trying out the Warriors, trying to get some practice in. He wants to basically come up with a list, and he's going to go ahead and play against my brother. So let's go ahead and see what they both brought to the table, and let's go over the game. Right here, he has, this looks like 8 trolls. And they're just regular chaos trolls or whatever they are. I guess wasteland trolls, whatever. The big guy on the right, though, that is his basically his fighting character on a demonic steed, and that he's in the unit of trolls. Now he has these guys right here. These are the once chosen, and he has about 8 of them, I believe. I think there's just 8 ones chosen. I don't think they have anything special. This right here is the unit of skirmishers. They are pestilence with extra hand weapon shield, I believe. I want to say that's exactly what they are. I could be off though. They could. These might be the marauders. I think these are marauders with the mark of pestilence and hand weapon shield. But you can see in the corner he has his BSB with that unit right there. He has these 2. What the hell are their names? Beasts, Chaos Spawn. Over here you can see on the left he has a big block of Marauders on the left. He has 2 units of Slaneshi Steeds, whatever they're called now, the Hellstriders, and then he has more Skirmisher that are on the these are Warriors actually. Those are Warriors on Skirmishers. Yeah, they're just basically whatever. And then you can see he has 2 units of Hounds. I know they don't look anything like what you're thinking, but basically his whole army has this Cthulhu theme, and that's exactly what I see. Anyways, for my brother over here, he has his man-eater block. He has 6 to 7 man-eaters, or veteran mercenaries. They do have the general, and the general is the guy in the gold. That's Odin. Odin is holding the Hell Fist, and the Hell Fist gives his whole army a chaos mark. So basically he bought the mark of Nurgle for these guys, so they have Iron Fist with Nurgle. The BSB's with them. The BSB has Kadali's Maul, and then the general has some defensive kit. Over here he has 4 Bombardiers, and the Bombardiers have the mark of change, and then his so does his level 2 over there of fire. Over here he has 2 Tusker Cavalry, Tusker Raiders, and the Tusker Raiders actually have, I think it's just Lust. I think they just took Mark of Lust. But they do also have the War Banner with them, and then also he has his, that right there, even though it's a Thunder Tusk model or a Frosthorn model, it is actually going to be his Rockhorn, his Rock Auroch. Excuse me. So his Rock Auroch is that model right there, and then he has this giant elephant motherfucker over here. That is his Frost Mammoth. On the right, he has 8 tribesmen, and then in the back, he has like 8 bruisers. For magic, he got Fireball, Burning Rampart, Smoldering Ember, and Blizzard. And then for my opponent, or for Ian, he has no magic. So basically, they line up on the diagonal. They rolled off for a random deployment to get in a diagonal, and they start setting up like so. Now, my brother actually learned something pretty cool, which is just keeping his frenzied Rockhorn facing the wrong way, so that way on turn 1 he doesn't have that ability to be frenzy baited on the first turn. So basically everybody's just kind of facing off. My brother's strategy is very simple, just smash right away, so he puts his whole army on the line, whereas Ian started playing with the chaff game really early. He wanted to put some dogs up front, whatever, but Ian also put his army pretty up in the way turn 1. Like so. He vanguarded up a little bit with his units that could vanguard up, and it's going to go ahead and start off turn 1. Now, Ian did drop his army off first. He would normally get the turn 1, but we're playing with the Blood in the Sun rule, so the Blood in the Sun rules means you only get a maximum of +2. You don't get automatically first turn. So since he only got +2, my brother actually outrolled him and goes first. So turn 1, Chaogres. He goes ahead and he charges with the Tuskers into his hounds. The hounds flee through the unit, thinking that it'll be a farther charge from the Tuskers into the skirmishers, which they needed like a 10, I believe, and with the Mark of Lust, it's not really that bad with Swift Stride. Anyways, same thing with the middle group. The veteran mercenaries charge uphill, pop the hounds out to the back because he fled again, and he's going to redirect into the Chosen. And then again over here, the tribesmen charge into some more hounds, and they're going to redirect into the trolls. So he goes ahead and he rolls them all, and bam, gets in with the freaking Tuskers, and bam, gets in with the mercenaries, and also he fails with the tribesmen. But this is something else that we were talking about too, was he moved up the bruisers, and then he goes ahead and he moves up the rock auroch like so to make sure that his skirmishers cannot get in and chaff that unit, so they have to go around the long way. And it actually messes up his turn really bad. Anyways, this is how it looks at the end of the movement phase. Magic phase, he got 8 power dice, goes ahead and he throws up Smoldering Ember, gets dispelled. He goes ahead and he throws up a big dice fireball, I believe, and kills off 2 trolls. And then he goes into shooting phase. Shooting phase, these lead belts start shooting over here. They end up picking off 1 guy. And then close combat. Close combat. Whoo. The Tusker Cavalry end up ramming 3 guys. Okay, 3 warriors. And then the warriors go back and they do 2 wounds. Then they end up going ahead and attack. And I think they actually... Oh, they did 4 wounds. Wow, they did 4 wounds. But the charge, 3 wounds. Banner and War Banner versus this guy's BSB and 4 wounds. He loses by 1. Alright? With fear. I believe it's fear. And he fails it. His BSB is in that unit, and he fails it again, and his BSB breaks on turn 1. And not only that, he catches him with the Mournfangs. Then they go into the next combat with the veteran mercenaries and the Chosen, and he just wipes out the Chosen again the same way, kills a bunch, overruns them, and they decide, you know what, guys? It's turn 1. They didn't even get far. Let's hit the reset button. So we hit the reset button. This game's starting over because the Chaogres just dominated turn 1. They just ate a whole unit with the BSB, ate the whole unit with the Chosen. There's 3 fleeing hound units. There's no way in hell the other skirmishers are going to get inside it or in front of the other units to make a difference. And then his general would be in deep shit turn 2. But, so they reset. Everybody goes back to starting position, and they're going to have a total same roll-off. They're going to keep the same spells and all that. They're just going to go ahead and reset it. So it'll go into turn 1, and I believe this time Jesse still takes the first turn. So they line up a little bit different. I mean, mostly the same. For my brother, he keeps the Mournfangs where they are. He keeps the Man-Eaters where they are. They ended up doing the turn off where they get to 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop, all drop. And the thing is, Ian has so much chaff that my brother was ended up just having to figure out a strategy based on the fly. So anyways, he lines up like so. There was no real charges because everybody was just too far. Ian learned from his mistake. So magic phase, got 7 power dice. He goes ahead and he throws up burning ramparts, gets dispelled. Then he goes ahead and he throws up a medium-sized fireball and kills off 1 troll and 2 wounds onto another troll. Over here, the Bombardiers, they're going to start shooting at some hounds, and I believe they don't even kill the hounds, or they wipe out the hounds. I don't even have a picture of what happens to those hounds. Something happens to those hounds. Over here, his Frost Mammoth is going to go ahead and shoot, and it shoots at the Chosen and doesn't do anything, I don't think. I don't know what he's doing. Anyways, that's about it for turn 1, Jesse. Turn 1, Warriors of the Cthullu Gods. He's charging some Seleneshi Striders, whatever these guys are, the Hell Striders, into my brother's flank of his Bombardiers. So he didn't really have a stand and shoot reaction. It was actually the straight flank. He just turned it around here to do runaway center to center. But so he decides to flee, and he flees all the way over there onto the other side, making that charge impossible. As you can see, he's moving up his skirmishers on the right side. They're overloading one flank, and then he goes ahead and he moves up his chaos spawn in front of the Rockhorn and in front of his tribesmen, so they can't get in, they can't advance much. He surrounds his bruisers, so basically the bruisers are going to get their ass kicked soon, and then he goes ahead and he moves up like so. And these guys are here, they have some shooting, they're going to go ahead and shoot, and they end up doing like 1 wound, and then this item that they have that shoots basically makes the unit stupid, so he goes ahead and he made these guys stupid. And that's about it. It's going to go ahead and start off Chaogre's turn 2. Chaogre's turn 2. He's charging into these freaking hounds here. He kind of has to. He has the freaking Tuskers right there, kind of chaffed up by some hounds. He charges in here. Now this one I didn't agree with entirely because it's kind of leaving himself vulnerable towards future charges. So he charges in here into his chaos spawn, and then he charges in here, and another one I would just probably have just avoided this charge here. But he charges in here to this chaos spawn, and then he ends up charging his bruisers into the hounds here, and everybody basically connects because they were all pretty much point blank range. Magic Face, he got 12 power dice. He goes in and he throws up burning ramparts on these guys. I don't know why he threw it up on these guys. I would have threw it up on those big blocks of skirmishers or whatever, but for some reason he threw it up on these guys. He goes in and he throws up a fireball and a smoldering ember. Both of them get dispelled. Then he goes in and he throws up a blizzard, and this was kind of like a meh thing. I don't know. It wasn't really worth it too much. Over here, Impact Hits alone just destroyed the dogs, and he's going to reform facing the flank that way. And then over here, these guys, Impact Hits alone kind of killed this one. And then over here, the Rockhorn just ate that freaking Chaos spawn over there. Over here, the Bruisers kill the dogs, and it's going to go ahead and start off turn 2 with Warriors of the Cthullu Gods. So, Warriors of the Cthullu Gods, turn 2. Here it goes. He's charging into his bruisers with the skirmishers, both sets of skirmishers and the trolls, and the problem here is his unit turns stupid, so they can't even choose to flee if they wanted to. I think his best bet was to flee from the first unit on the right, because he would flee through all of his Rockhorn and everything else and pop out the other side, pretty much kind of almost safe. But everybody gets in over here, and basically he charges in his Chosen into his Rockhorn. So everybody gets in. This is pretty nasty. Over here, these guys, they moved, and they just took their burning ramparts, killed off 2, and everybody else kind of just moves up like so. Anyways, there is no magic. There is no shooting. We're going to go straight into close combat. Close combat, he challenges with the champ. Champ accepts, and he ends up killing off the ogre champ. Over here, you could just see he just demolished. He demolished the whole fucking unit of bruisers. The whole unit was demolished. And then the single bruisers that's remaining attacks back, and it doesn't really do shit. It did 1 wound. 1 wound. It was probably just a stomp, too. Oh, man. So, he's going to flee from the biggest unit, which is the troll, so he ends up fleeing this way. He chases one set of the skirmishers who had frenzy, I believe, and then the rest are all just going towards the Rockhorn now. Oh, no. How did this work? Did he overrun into them? I don't think he overrun. I don't know how this happened. Anyways, Rockhorn ends up going first because he's slowing down the movement with his Frosthorn that's right there. He ends up killing off one of the Once Chosen. The Once Chosen end up killing the Rockhorn, and they're going to overrun into his Frosthorn. His Frosthorn basically is facing the opposite way just because the Tusks were in the way. He couldn't get in, and that's about it. It's going to go ahead and start off turn 3, Chaogres. Turn 3! Come on, give me the picture. Turn 3 over here. He's charging a long charge because the way he angled his tribesmen, they cannot help out the Frosthorn. So he's contemplating charging those guys all the way on the other side over there. We ended up talking him out of it, basically, because again, this is a practice game where we're just like kind of like going back and forth about what the best possible scenarios could be. And he has those dogs still in the way of the fucking man-eaters too. But anyways, he goes ahead and he does 2 swift reforms with the man-eaters and the tribesmen to turn them around to face where the Chosen are going to kill the Frosty and overrun into. His Mornfangs, his Tuskers pop up all the way over there to the side to help him basically set up a flank charge in case he decides to move up trying to chase the tribesmen. And then he rallied the lead belchers. I think he rallied them on the turn before, but he also swift reformed to make them smaller. This is part of my problem, though. I accidentally told him do this so you could get some fire shots off onto the trolls, not realizing that his once chosen are going to overrun towards his direction. Magic phase, he got 6 power dice. And he goes there and throws up Fireball, fails, throws up Blizzard, fails, throws up Burning Rampart, fails. Shooting phase, these guys are going to go ahead and shoot at the trolls, and they only peel off 1 troll. He goes ahead into close combat over here, kills off one of the ones chosen attack back, and they just wipe out that fucking mammoth. Now, they're going to overrun because they're frenzied, and they overrun this way like we said, but the one big problem, the one major problem he has here is that it's not his turn. It's Ian's turn. So Warriors of the Cthullu Gods turn 3. He's charging in here. He's charging these skirmishers into the rear of his veterans. He's charging his chosen into the bombardiers, and they got in like so, and the other guys in the back got in like so. He's moving up his skirmishers over here, and he decides to chaff up the Mornfangs with the hounds and the other guys over there. And like you see over here, this is how it looks. Close combat. He attacks. He ends up killing off 1 man-eater. The man-eaters go back, and they end up killing off like pretty much the whole fucking unit except 1 guy. That 1 guy, I think, got stomped to death. And he basically gets a free reform, which he's going to turn facing those chosen. The chosen end up wiping out his lead belchers, and they basically overrun that way. But it's going to go ahead and start off turn 4 Chaogres. Turn 4 Chaogres. He's going to charge in here, and now the thing is, those guys are frenzied, so they can't even run away. They're going to sit there and take an ass kicking like so. These guys decide they're going to clear out this fucking chaff that's been in the way for a while, and they both get in, which is just beautiful. Close combat, these guys end up taking out, giving 2 wounds to the freaking man-eaters, but the man-eaters end up, or Tuskers end up eating the whole unit, and they reform facing this way, and then over here, the veterans destroyed the once chosen. I mean, he had, I'm not kidding, he had like 18 wounds that he had to take after the general, the BSB, all the characters went, and he didn't even get a chance to really hit. He hit like 1 man-eater and didn't do enough wounds. So, basically overruns into those other Hellstriders that are going to go ahead and start off turn 4 for the Warriors of the Cthullu Gods. Warriors of the Cthullu Gods turn 4. He's going to go ahead and charge in here into his Tuskers. And then basically close combat over here, these guys just exploded, and then they reform. Over here, holy shit, he couldn't do any wounds. He did 1 wound. 1 to the Tuskers. The Tusker goes back, does 2 wounds, stomp, kills off another one, and then he has a banner and a banner and a war banner. He ends up sticking there, and it gives him enough time to do his turn. Turn 5 Chaogres. So he's going to go ahead and move. He does a swift reform, and he moves his ogres as close as possible to help that combat out. He moves his man-eaters. Now basically they're practicing for table quarters. They figured there's not much else that could happen right now. They're kind of too far away from everybody, so there'll be more fights happening. So basically, the tribesmen can still help out, can still get table quarters, can still get points. The veteran mercenaries are sitting in that corner. Nobody's going to contest the points over on that side. Close combat over here. His Tusker kills off 2. He ends up doing 1 wound to the Tusker, and the Tusker still sticks. It's going to go ahead and do turn 5 Cthullu Gods. Like I said, he's playing with the quarters, but he ends up moving his BSB's unit up towards the same action, and then close combat over here, he ends up killing off that Tusker. That hurt. That actually hurt a lot, because if that Tusker stuck another round, those tribesmen were about to get a flank. It's going to go ahead to turn 6. Turn 6, he ends up charging in here with his tribesmen, and he stand and shoots, I think that's what happens. He ends up losing 1 guy here, but basically the tribesmen end up killing off, let's see, 4, 5, 6, and he ends up popping the unit, and when he pops the unit, he decides not to chase, but to face this way towards the oncoming threat, and it goes into turn 6, Cthullu Gods, and he rallies and doesn't do any chases. I believe it's a smaller victory for Ian. I don't think it was a big victory for Ian, but like I said, Ian's one of the tougher opponents to play at the dojo. He's pretty much good with a lot of the armies that he does play, but it was pretty brutal. I mean, obviously, Ian got his ass kicked on turn 1 in the first game before the reset. But it was also, to be honest, to be fair, you know, when you come back from one army from playing another, it's just like wiping off all that rust. So I don't dock him for that. My brother did what he was supposed to on that turn. This game, I think that he should have changed his approach drastically, because Ian was now expecting the first approach, and my brother didn't change his positioning, didn't change how he handled certain things, and then it was pretty nasty. But overall, it was a fun game. I think MVP is easily the veteran mercenaries. They wiped out a skirmishing unit, they wiped out the Chosen, they wiped out some Hell Striders. They were just destroying whoever the hell they wanted to. Those veteran mercenaries are just a nasty, nasty bunch. I really like how the Tusker Cavalry held a whole horde of barbarians with frenzy for like 3 rounds. That was pretty insane. The tribesmen did pretty good actually, and the Chaos Ogres are pretty decent. They're pretty beefy actually. They're one of the harder armies I've noticed as of late. But then again, my army selection's kind of low for who I play against. But yeah, guys, so this is the last video I have right before Blood in the Sun. Blood in the Sun's coming up in a couple days. I've been working my ass. I've been painting my ass off to get this display board done. I've been painting my ass off to get some of the extra models that I have out. I got some new Rackham models coming out. I have some new stuff get out there. I want you guys to be excited to see what I have, and I will be putting up a video probably closer to the weekend showing you what I'm bringing to the table. But overall, you're gonna have to wait till after the weekend to see exactly what I have, how the games go. So first game, I already know I'm playing against Jeremy. If you guys have any advice on how to take on a Sky Sloop army, please leave it in the comment section below, or send me a message or something like that, because taking on 5 Sky Sloops and 3 of them have ballistic skill 6 or better, that's just, ugh, man, that's gonna be brutal. That's gonna be so brutal. Anyways, guys, I hope you're enjoying these videos. I like making them. But if you do enjoy my videos, please help me out. I'm trying to go to Greece. I got like about a month and a half left to go, and I'm only at like 15 to 20% of my goal. So guys, I have a GoFundMe account up. I'm going to put it in the description box. I also have a PayPal account up where you guys can just send me any donations, and I really need your help. Donate some money. Donate $1, $5, $10, $20, whatever you guys feel comfortable with. Just donate, and it helps me out get to Greece, because Greece is extremely expensive and I cannot do it alone. So guys, I really appreciate the help though. Guys, besides that, I will be going to Blood in the Sun this weekend. Dun 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 dun. And so will Ian, and so will Jesse. Jesse is playing his Chaogres. Ian decided to go with the Vermin Swarm that was in the last video. And then Dan is not going, but Todd and Red and Judson are going. So there is actually, we have, as long as one other Vermin Swarm player shows up, the Shyhammer guys have a 66% chance of coming home with some Vermin Swarm Best Player Award. Oh man. But guys, I hope to God there's, because the way Fergus is running it, he wants to have at least 3 people in contention for the Best of Race Award. So I'm hoping to God there's 2 other Orc and Goblin players there, so that way I know that I have a good chance of having the best Orc and Goblin. I'm not saying that I'm going to take it, but I have a chance to, and that's all I want, is give me a goddamn chance. And besides that, guys, I hope I do well. I hope I don't disappoint you guys, and I will be putting up, of course, like every one of my tournaments, I'm going to put up point tallies to see, you know, who is actually key pieces in my army and who is like not pulling their weight. And besides that, guys, I hope you're enjoying this, and I will see you in the next video. If you haven't hit like and subscribe, hit like and subscribe. And I'm rambling. I think that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.